Well, I started playing the Carillon in 1964, and after doing my graduate work, went to Europe, or lived there for almost 10 years. One of the problems with the Carillon is that it is, by and large, a non-standardized instrument. There are all different sizes of Carillons. Some have a lot of big bells, some have only small bells, different number of bells, different keyboard measurements, so that going from one Carillon to another is not like going from one grand piano to another. On a grand piano, most of the keys are pretty much in the same place, and if you go to hit an octave, you can play an octave on any piano. I think what I got into Carillon building for originally was that I was dissatisfied with the quality of instruments that I was playing. And I felt that from the perspective of a player, I had to do something about the quality of instruments that was being produced.
Well, I want to get it up over here. Well, what happens is the heat and humidity in unprotected installations can actually swell the keys to the point where they stick. I just want to keep a little bit of the heat, because that'll help it a little bit. That was 2 years in the building, and it's a piece of art. It's truly unique. Yeah, I do say so myself.
Far enough so they don't bottom out when they get it on an angle.
1,000 pounds, that's quite a bit to get up that far up in the air.
This is definitely the most grandiose part. It's so much work to put a keyboard together. Thousands of moving parts, and it's the nerve center of the whole instrument.
They got brakes on that dolly. I just thought of something they swing back like that. Watch that thing roll out here.
They don't have any brakes on it as far as I know. You gotta hold on to it.
Wouldn't it be a sick sight?
Yeah, it would be.
It hits that parking lot and just becomes pieces. Oh. I shouldn't even say that. It was hard to stop. Why they always move. Hang on. We'll get your orders. It's going to be a little hard to swing around now. We got a lot more weight in it.
Easy.
Don't want to step out there too far, guys. Don't want that step. It's a doozy.
The access to the belfry for bringing in components like the frame and the bells and clappers and so forth was through a hole in the ornamental grills, and it was pretty hairy experience getting some of the stuff in here, especially the clavier.
Tell me about that, Dave.
I would not care to relive it, thank you. We spent the better part of a year and a half building this new clavier, which is solid oak and stainless steel throughout. And it's a piece of artistry. To make a long story considerably shorter, what we did was to wrap all of this clavier with discarded carpeting and miles of duct tape, and the thing looked like something out of King Tut's tomb. It was really like a mummy. Then we would put this in as a unit, and the thing weighs over 1,000 pounds.
Ready? Whose idea was this?
The problem is this lift here, okay?
Yeah.
As it came off the crane platform, of course, one of the hydraulic jacks packed up and wouldn't go up and wouldn't go down, and things were a bit tense there for a while.
Whoa. How much room you got up there?
We got an inch down here is all.
All right, that's all I need.
You got more than an inch. You got 2 inches.
You can't come down too much more because of the force.
Yeah, I'm watching this.
The old adage,
Come on down, Mike.
you're supposed to measure twice and cut once. Well, we measured about 50 times, and still, it just barely got in the room. It was very, very close. And
We got to go toward you guys. We're going to take off all the keys.
You guys need to swing your end that way.
Swing your in towards me. Hang on a second. He's coming around to help.
Okay. You got to get on the planks.
Talk to me. What are your wheels doing?
We're all right. We're just fine. We can still come this way. You ain't that.
The keys. Let's not bust the keys. Thank you.
You guys have to lift up on that back end to let her down that hump, otherwise you'll kick that jack out. Hear me?
Gotta go straight into the room.
You can come in there. Okay, we're leaning bad this way now. We're coming on in. It's in backwards.
Oh, not to it, was there, guys?
Nothing to it. Yeah, you gotta grab the center.
How does it look?
I think it's okay. I'll now want to unwrap it. Talk about everything in this whole project fits by 1/8 of an inch. Everything. In the other skin that.
Yep, here we go.
In a Carillon, every detail counts. Error is cumulative, let's put it that way. So that the attention to every little detail, if you take care of that, at the end of the process of building an instrument, you'll have a really fine piece of machinery, fine musical instrument. However, the sense of perfectionism really does get in the way sometimes, because there are certain things that, despite the best planning, you get things into the tower and something doesn't quite fit the way you thought it was going to do, or a bell will sound a little bit different than it did when it was sitting on the foundry floor.
Where do we want me?
Well, we want you like right underneath. Don't scratch this, obviously. Come on in, and it's the third.
At the bottom.
Yeah, let me put it in from there. Okay. Come on in. Okay, do it.
Happy camper?
Yep, happy camper. That's a 1. Yep. That's a 2, and we'll do one more just in the center, just to make sure it's squeezed tight. Okay, go ahead. Beautiful. Lovely, thank you.
Wow, slack out, huh?
Just push that up. And then we pull the slack out.
Okay.
That's fine, thank you. Very good. We're moving right along. No hour lunch breaks today, I'm afraid. There are more parts in one of these things than I've ever been able to calculate. It seems like they multiply overnight. It's a very complicated little piece of machinery we got here. Putting the last down wires, as they're called, from the transmission to the clavier is kind of icing on the cake. It's a very simple job. It's all the preparations you have to make before putting those wires in that count. And there are a lot of details. A lot of details.
You're pausing for a breather, aren't you? Yeah.
The biggest difficulty is really the access to this tower. It's much more difficult than many other towers. The only personal access is by a 138-step spiral staircase, and it's one thing to do that, once a day, but it's another thing if you're doing it 20 or 25 times a day, going up and down. And if you've forgotten a tool up on the frame and it's down in the boiler room and you have to go get it, you're cursing 138 steps down and 138 steps back.
Oh boy. Listen to this, aren't we having fun here? Oh boy.
It's a lot of steps. I believe it's about 130 steps from the ground, just up to the bottom of the bell chamber here, and then it's another 30 up to the top of the bell frame, and if you want to go to the basement, add another 30 onto that, and do that 12 to 15 times a day up and down, and you're either in good shape or simply worn out. It is kind of like an advanced jumble gym.
I have turned down projects. We're a very small company, and since we are perfectionists, we realize that just in terms of economic turnover, we cannot build a Carillon for everybody. And some people don't want a Rolls Royce. Some people want a Chevy. So, you know, there is a place for different instruments by different founders, different builders. We choose to work for churches and for universities or other Carillon institutions who want absolute perfectionist work. The axis of the turnbuckle has to be exactly in line with the wire, or vice versa, such that the pull is a dead true vertical. We generally have only one big project per year, and some smaller stuff. But this is by far the most challenging project that we've undertaken. Also, this is one of the first projects in which we've basically built an instrument from the ground up. We've had a hard go of it, but there is a personal satisfaction during the process of making everything and putting it together and seeing that it works. And then there's a second type of satisfaction that comes from playing the instrument and hearing the fruits of your labor.